G'day guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new series where I have dabbled in time travel.
Oh, great Scott!
Gone into the future to rescue one club as the game saw fit to screw these guys over. So without further ado, let's go and jump forward in time and let's go and see what actually happens.
People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Right then guys, so as I said before, I have dabbled in a little bit of time travel, so to speak. Basically what I have done is I have simulated 10 years into the future of just a bog standard database. Well, I say bog standard, it's the up-to-date transfer database that I downloaded off one of the websites. I can't remember whether it's Sorted Out SI or FM Scout. Up-to-date transfer database as of the January transfer window. I've simulated 10 years into the future because you know the game likes to throw up weird mixtures like relegating Man United, Spurs winning the title. So I thought, you know what, let's see what the game decides on this time round and let's see who gets relegated. Well, there was one, if we can go and find Premier Division and look at it. This is what the table looks like at the moment. In fact, I'll go to the stages because that's a little bit better. So as you can see, at this point in time, let's have a look at the history. It has been dominated by Manchester City. Liverpool have had one, Arsenal have had 3, and Man United have just got a title as well. But if we have a look all through this, there is one team in modern terms that is not here. And it did surprise me a little bit, so I decided to go down to have a look at the Championship. Was Aston Villa. Because they are in the Championship. They have just been promoted behind Wolves. Ooh, tasty. Midlands battle out there for the Championship title, but Wolves and Villa have both been promoted along with Norwich, the perennial yo-yo club. But yes, Aston Villa have come back up into the Premier League, but that's not all. Aston Villa also have a lot of money, and that is because if we have a look at landmarks, they got relegated after the Tycoon takeover happened. They increased their stadium capacity, they've upgraded their facilities, then got relegated to the out of the Premier League down to the Championship, spent one season there and then got promoted as runners-up again, and were also the FA Cup runners-up. So overall, this is a club that has been relegated. They've come back up after a season, but they have a lot of money. And Aston Villa, realistically, are a team that deserve probably a little bit more respect in real life. They are a very, very successful club. If we have a look at their overview and have a look at their history, let's say 1 Champions League trophy back in 1982, albeit 7 league titles, a European Super Cup, 7 FA Cups, 5 League Cups as well. So they're not short of trophies in the trophy cabinet, but they obviously haven't won any in their like sort of recent history. And I think actually the last time they won something, it won't be a league title, that was 1981. FA Cup 1957 for an FA Cup, and a League Cup 1996, and I remember that one actually, 1996 for that one. So there we have it. I'm going to zip forward, I'm going to add myself as manager of Aston Villa, and then we are going to take the Premier League by storm. Let's get the transfer sorted out, let's go and have a look at the money, let's go and have a look at the squad. Join me for that in a few seconds. Okay, so we have joined in, we are now at the 4th of September, so the transfer window is done. The league fixtures are done, we've played 3 games, and I'll go through the schedule first before I go through the transfers. We lost to Everton first game of the season. Okay, I can allow that, I suppose. Then we beat Arsenal. Then we beat Walsall, Midlands rivals. Then lost to Fulham 5-3. But then beat Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. So we're doing well in the Carabao Cup. The league, so-so. Transfer-wise, we had... I still got 150 million in the transfer budget. But we got given something like 120 million initially anyway, I think it was. Yeah, 100 million it was, and I've still got 150 million. I've got no debt on there. There's some transfer debt, but this Tycoon takeover is immense. They have got a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money. So if we have a look at the transfer history, going back one season, and I'll arrange this in date order. So before the takeover, I knew I needed to strengthen the squad and strengthen it quickly. So I've brought in a lot of players, basically from Gordon Bishop upwards. Bearing in mind, all these are going to be probably regens, bar 1 or 2 players that are still going to be hanging around. Your likes of Lamine Yamal and all that, they're obviously still young enough to be around. As is Milos Kerkez. So, right, Gordon Bishop, 25 million, English central midfielder from West Ham. Really tidy, actually. Very good mentals and physicals. Just your standard ball-winning midfielder, not the best at anything else, but he will break up the play. So for 25 million, I was quite happy to bring him in. Next one will be his midfield partner, Richard Mate from Eintracht Frankfurt, 38 million, 5-star potential. This lad could really be a baller, really be. Great first touch, passing and technique, brilliant mentals already. Physicals need to work on a little bit. He's a little bit lightweight, but I still think he'll do a good job. I've got high hopes for him, very high hope. We should stop doing that. Then another third midfield partner, but this time I'm looking at possibly sending him out on loan in January if he doesn't get any game time here. He's played in the Carabao Cup a couple of times, but again, another ball-winning midfielder, perfectionist personality, 5-star, ticks all the boxes as far as I'm concerned. The only thing that does concern me for a ball-winning midfielder is that he's not that aggressive, and you need that aggression, that steel in the centre of midfield. Then Tariq Lakhal is a Moroccan regen goalkeeper. I needed somebody better. I needed somebody better to cope with the Premier League, and you know what? I'm very happy with that. Great one-on-ones and aerial reach for a goalkeeper. He's a sweeper keeper as well, but his vision's not the best, so I don't think he's going to be the one that's going to last us all 5 years. He could be, but I don't think he will be, because I kind of think he's already reaching the top of his potential, and Premier League's brutal, and I'm probably going to need something better a little bit further down the line. That being said, I also needed to bring in a couple of left backs, because my left backs here were awful. If I go to this, I'll show you in a second. So I brought in Milos Kerkez, obviously tried and tested by this point. He's 30 years old, a lot of Premier League experience. Been at Bournemouth the entire time, which did surprise me a little bit, and I got him for 18 million, but again, consistency for Bournemouth in the Championship, in the Premier League. Again, that's a little bit surprising. Bournemouth stuck in the Championship. Nobody picked him up. I'll take that. Lots of professional experience. Very, very good player. What more can be said about that? But I wanted somebody else in to push him a little bit. And Ivan Wisdom, I think this guy could overtake him probably next season, maybe the season after. But look at concentration, decisions, bravery and teamwork for a left back there. But more importantly, and there's one thing I recognise on this a lot, is fullbacks and wing backs, when they get regenerated on here, never seem to have good crossing and dribbling. This guy had it built in straight away, and it's exactly what I'm looking for. Great tackling, but can run with the ball and cross it as well. Has the physical attributes to go with that. Perfecto. Very, very happy with that. And the fact that I only got him for 27.5 million is great. And the final one, Luka Lutar, is one I'd say for the future. A few more seasons down the line. I've kept him on loan in Croatia at Osijek. Speaking of Croatia, if you haven't checked out my Build a Nation save, go and check it out. It's a fun save with Hajduk Split, but back to the Villa one. So yeah, he's staying on loan. I think he's going to be a very, very good player in the future, but just not quite ready just yet. Departures wise, as you can see, the Lutar loan went through. Mark Hoy is a midfielder that was already at the club but needs more game time, so I sent him out on loan. And Robert Swarby went for 29.5 million. He just wasn't going to get the game time with us, and I'll show you why in a second. Squad wise, as you can see though, another 229 million brought in after the takeover is ridiculous. I offloaded a lot of the older players. I wanted to start the Premier League season with a fresh, youngish squad. So the likes of Ian Martin has left, Stojanovic, Josh Stewart, Seferius, Jacob Ramsey has gone. 32.5 million for Jacob Ramsey when he is 33. I think that's a pretty good deal, a very good deal in fact. Valentin Carboni, 61 million to Leicester. I was like, yeah, go on then. He's good, but he's not amazing, so to speak. So I was happy to snap them up on that. One of the best deals I think I got was this guy, and that is Stig Mikkelsen, or Mikkelsen. Free transfer from Liverpool, and I snapped him up quite early on, and nobody else wanted him. Okay, his teamwork's a little bit low, but as a forward, a deep line forward / advanced forward, couldn't turn him down for a free transfer. And the fact that I made 61 million off Carboni is all the better. William Vera is a right back and a left back, can play both sides, 5-star potential from Ecuador. His physicals are immense. He needs work on the mentals and technicals, but still at 20 years old, he will get there. I think he could be our first choice right back within a couple of seasons. Then 2 from Nottingham Forest, because Forest got relegated. A couple of players wanted to leave. I thought a bit of Premier League experience, so I brought in Justin Lerma as an attacking midfielder. Another Ecuadorian, helps with William Vera as well, so they could team up together. Not a bad little player, good vision, good passing. I think he'll come in as cover more than anything else. And then Henrique Labuto from Brazil, 24 years old, another defensive midfielder. As you can see, I went for a lot of defensive midfielders because I wanted to make sure that central part was as solid as possible, because that is how you stay up in the Premier League in the first season. Brave, determined, great teamwork, good heading, great tackling. Not the best on technique, but physically, he's not going to get bullied off the ball, so I think that's a great purchase as well. And the fact I've still got 150 million left in the transfer kitty says a lot. Squad-wise, this is what my squad is looking like now. In fact, I'll go to the tactics, I'll show you what I'm playing. I've gone ballsy for the first season. I haven't gone defensive, I've gone very attacking, because in my mind, attack is the best form of defence. Keep the other teams on the back foot. Hopefully it will work, but with wingers either side, pressing forward and complete forward up front, a regista and a ball-winning midfielder, and my defence all on actually defending. I'm hoping balance is just right, and if I do a quick pick of the best 11, Kirkez comes out, that's why I put Kirkez in, but we also have a regen French guy, Roussel, who's very, very good. Physicals and mentals are awesome, and he is the club captain as well. I do have Lenny Yoro here, and another regen called Junior Bakum. Good player overall, but not the best. I think Roussel should be playing in that spot with Kirkez there. Then I got Richard Mate and Labuto, so a new central midfield partnership. Ben Doak from Liverpool, very, very well developed winger now, 28, in the prime of his career. I'm going to get the most out of this guy. Great winger on the game, fantastic winger on the game. With Stefanos Zimas, another Greek striker who's talked about a lot in real life, could end up in the Premier League at some point. In fact, actually, no, saying that, I think he did actually sign for Brighton and is on loan at the moment. So we may see him very soon in the future in the Premier League, and a very, very good striker. Has been at Villa for a few years now and did well, actually. He's done very well. Then Castro up front. Augustin Castro, I think, is a phenomenal player, and he's got 5 and 5 already. I think our hopes are pinned very much on his performances this season. And then Moraes, Thiago Moraes, yeah, left winger. Probably only going to get 1 season out of him, but let's build up over time. So that's the transfers done. The finances are sorted out. We are in the Premier League. We've only played 3 games, won 1, lost 2. This is going to be a tough first season, but let's go and find out. I'm going to roll the highlights and we'll see what actually happens this season. I'll see you in a few seconds. The key point for this season is survival, but 3 wins in 13 didn't help. But come December, things settle down. A 4-0 win versus Ipswich, a 4-0 versus Fulham, a 1-0 versus Liverpool, and another 4-0 versus Man United all contributed to a successful league campaign as we finished 11th in the league. The plan for the domestic cups was not to be embarrassed, and to be fair, we did pretty well. 3-1 versus Blackpool, then beating Man City and Watford to reach the quarter-finals versus Arsenal. But in a tight affair, we were robbed of victory thanks to a late goal and an extra time goal to knock us out of the competition. The Carabao Cup was a different matter altogether. Early convincing wins versus Walsall, Liverpool and Newcastle led to the quarterfinals versus Leicester, who we comfortably whooped 4-0. Next, it was Southampton in the semis, who we beat 5-3 over the two legs to reach the Carabao Cup final in our first season of asking versus Manchester City. After City's early goal, we took control thanks to Zimizas and Castro, and we went on to win the Carabao Cup in our first season. Well, that wasn't too bad, was it? Okay, let's discuss the league form first. So if we have a look at the table, as you can see, we qualified for the Conference League, and as I said in the highlights, we do have a trophy. Finishing 11th is no bad thing, especially when you look at our past positions. Excuse me. We've gone up and down. In fact, we were in the relegation zone, or teetering around the relegation area, for a good while, until we took control of our destiny a little bit, and in the final third of the season got a little bit more consistent. If we have a look at the schedule and go to the top, it wasn't actually too bad. We had a rough September for some reason, which actually those are teams I'll be expecting that we beat with the squad that I've got. But it was December and January that really helped us, because we had a dip in form come March and April time, and we picked up a couple of vital results at the end of the season. But December and January were our biggest help by far, absolutely by far. But overall, as Premier League seasons go, I'm very happy with that. A mid-table finish, secure by, what's that, nearly 20 points, 19 points we're secure by, and we've got a trophy in the cabinet already. We've got another League Cup, the Carabao Cup, after a pretty convincing final win. 3-1 against Man City, I think, is a very convincing victory, considering it's our first season back in the competition. But when you consider we also knocked out Southampton 5-3, quarterfinals, Leicester 4-0, so we've done a decent job. Speaking of which, as you can see, I did also put in a couple of other players before I simulated the season. For some reason, Landazuri was getting game time, and I wanted Lacal to get as much as possible, so I had to put my goalkeeper in, and also my right back. They kept on trying to play Max Aarons. I didn't want that really. He's 35 now, good experience and all that, but it's the time for Vera to get that game time, so that's what I did. And let's have a little look at his progression. It's worked. Up arrows is all good. I'm very happy with that. If we have a look at Lacal, he's got the same as well, so that experience has helped him. Kirkes, I'm not expecting anything of, but he's still improved actually, weirdly enough. Okay, let's have a look at the goals. So we got, I said Castro would be the key one, and he got us 19 goals, which is decent for a first season, 9 assists. 16 and 4 from Zimas, which is pretty decent. Ben Doak with 12 and 13. For me, actually, that's player of the season material. Then Stig Mikkelsen, only 19 starts, but 9 goals and 4 assists. 8 and 4 from Justin Lerma. Thiago Moraes, 5 and 7. So overall, I think that is pretty decent from an attacking formation as a first season in the Premier League. But as we go into our second season, what money do we have to spend? I'm hoping our tycoon has just opened his purse strings and has given us a ton load. Oof. 164 million to spend with $750,000 wage budget, which is ridiculous. I could take that down. Oh, wow. Let's have a quick look at the finances. 140. The transfer debt has come down as well. Wow, we are sitting pretty. And if we're actually having a look at the finances, yeah, we're all in the green there as well, which is even better. And actually, this is something I forgot to allude to at the start of the video. We were in danger of not getting this at all. That is one of the reasons why I had to sell so many players at the start of the season, because I had to balance out the book a lot. Otherwise, we would have got a points deduction. Thankfully, it worked, and I don't expect that to happen again. But there we go, guys. We have travelled into the future to rescue Aston Villa, and it has started off very, very well. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and sub to the channel. Click that little bell icon to keep up to date with the content. Go and check out the other videos that I've got on here. I've got a Build a Nation save that is still going on with High Duke Split, which is absolutely excellent. There is the Director of Football save that has just finished with Southampton, and many, many more, so go and check them out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. Ta-ra.